little up, not much, but a little. That's probably the tide, but it is a little up. Son of a... Welcome back to M Hood Fishing, everybody. Got Ray from Rig PFA. Yeah, you're right. Did a little ride along. We're gonna fish this spot that I was fishing yesterday where I got that 48-pound tank, but it's a little different. Really different. Yeah, the river is up by a little bit, not like a lot. I know this looks like a lot compared to yesterday's video, but this is mostly the tide. Tide is in right now, and the river's only up by just a little bit compared to yesterday. So this is probably gonna change, but when, I don't know, because I did not check the tide. It's not bad. It's not a foot yet, foot deep yet. This is basically where I was set up yesterday, but there was no water right here, and now there's a lot of water. So we're either going to just go with this or rethink it. Let me get back at you guys. High tide is at 5:04, and it's just about 4 o'clock right now. So it's still coming up, and it's gonna be about an hour from now before it starts to try to turn around, and then it'll be a while before it starts to drop again. I think even though we're gonna be standing in water here, this is gonna be a good spot again because the tide is so high. Well, unfortunately, we're just gonna have to stand in water. I'm gonna start with just one rod to see how it goes. Just like yesterday, only using a 3-ounce no roll, a 6/0 to start, small piece of gill, well, medium size maybe. Man, the crazy stuff we do, Ray, in pursuit of tanks. I feel like I'm gonna get water in my boots today. And yes, I got a little water in the boot. So I'm taking this position. There's Ray. I can't remember the last time I stood in water waiting for a fish. Maybe fishing for specks, Grand Isle, Elmer's Isle.
I don't think I've even waded in the water on Elmer's Island. Maybe just to go cast, but not actually fishing in water.
For those sharks earlier this year.
Yeah, yeah.
The river is actually just at 11'4" based on the Carrollton gauge, which is upriver in New Orleans, which isn't far from here. I'm getting knocks over here, like what looks like line bites. Keep seeing like a shudder on the line all of a sudden. Not a tug or anything, but just like the line shudders all of a sudden. Keep watching and hopefully that comes to something. Oh yeah, that line shudder came about. It's not very big. We had to wait a good while for this too. There's a little more water in the boot now too. Good thing about this water being so high is that we can play him almost right up to where this sand spike is. Let's do that. See if we can slip him past the sand spike. Oh, there we go.
Good sandwich size.
Yeah, that is a good sandwich size. Nice. We just play him almost right over to the bike is. I have the bike at the head of the trail through these trees. Nice. This came out perfect too because I just happened to need to do a battery swap. I'm gonna keep this one for the table here. All right, it's time for me to put out a second rod. Previously there was a 8/0 leader on here. It was an 8/0 circle hook, and now I put a 6/0. Good enough there. Oh, look at this. Yes. My second rod worked out. Are we filming? Yes, we are. This is not such a spectacular day, standing around in the water watching nothing. We've just had maybe a couple of bites between the two of us. Of course, you know, I've got 2 fish on. What is up? Am I into one of your lines? What's my other rod doing over there? I might be tangled in his line because one of his rods just started to go down. Ooh, look at this. Am I into your line, or was that a fish that pulled your rod down?
I think that was just a pole itself that got big.
Yeah.
Just about a
There we go, guys. That's a bit better of a blue cat right there. Maybe we just had to wait for the sunset. We're definitely past high tide, and it's slowing down. In a couple hours, the current will pick up a lot more as the tide goes out. There's still current out there, of course, but it's just going to get faster. Nature's rod rest. Wow, that was a solid hook set there. This might be the only fish worth showing off for this session, guys. I'm not going to keep this one. That first one's good enough for tonight for me. We'll take care of that later. Yeah, you're right. Maybe it's going to get better, huh? If you go that way, I have it on authority that there's some really good cut bait. Come here. Go over here to raise baits. There you go. This fish is still hanging out with us. There he goes.
It finally went out.
All right, guys, that was a really crazy high tide. We're done fishing. Now it's time to pack it up and take it to the house. Come on, guys. First things first, let's prep some potatoes here. Not a lot, just 3 small potatoes. I'm gonna cut them into chunks about like this. Now we're gonna do the same for the carrots. As you see, I've got about an inch or so there. Now I'm gonna take that knife, whoop, whoop. Take that knife again, slice down. Get chunks about like this. Now for the green onion, taking all that green onion too. I've got all that in this pot with a bit of water. I just added some frozen peas. I'm gonna cover that. I've got the heat on. I'm gonna let it boil. I'm gonna turn it down and let it simmer. Right before I packed up, I cut the gills on this fish so he bled out in the tote. Right now I'm just rinsing all that river sand off him that's still on him. Every time I do that in this tote, I gotta remember to rinse it out or it's going to stink the next day. One more thing before I actually start cutting my fish. Let me get my rice going. This is jasmine rice. Pretty good stuff. All right, now that that's boiling, we're gonna go ahead and add a bit of sesame oil to that. And we're going to turn it down a little bit. There is probably more than one meal here for me. I'm going to show you guys one side. I'm up here where the head plate is. Insert the knife. And as I come right here, where that dorsal fin is, I got to come around it a little bit and then try to realign up with the spine to where I feel the tip of my knife hitting the spine, not going all the way through here, just trying to do a straight line, cutting as tight as I can to the top bit of that spine there, where I'm not losing too much meat, but that's all right. I'm not going to lose the meat. I can just take it off if I miss it on the first swipe. I'm going to ride that spine all the way back here to the tail. Now that I have that done, I'm gonna come right here past that spine, Riding that down towards the anal fin. Trying to get tight here. Now coming up here where that rib cage is. I thought I'd ride him off enough to where he wouldn't slip and slide here, but we're getting a little slippage. Now I want to just ride down that rib cage there. Not all the way. I don't need to go all the way down it. If I go too far, I'll be getting into the meat that I don't really want. Now I can just come along and take it off here like that. Maybe slice back a little more. All right, now we're going to flip him. Cut right there. Flip him back on his belly. Slice a little more. Now you see we just got skin right here exposed, and we want to cut right through that. And there we go. There's that fillet. As you see, very little meat left, very little. And there's the other fillet. All right, before I actually rinse this off and get ready to cook it, I want to cut it off the skin. And the way I do that is I hold it back here where the tail meat is. I come right in front of my fingers and do an angle cut. Helps if your knife is pretty sharp to do this. I want to hold that flat. Hold from the back and try to slice through. Slice it off the skin. There we go. Time to check on the veg. I want to see how soft they are. Oh, it's ready. Check that carrot right there. Smash it up to the side. Yep, soft, soft, soft. I want to drop this to low. Time to add some roux. This is curry, golden curry. My last bit of golden curry in the house. It's basically a roux block. It's a Japanese style curry. Add that right there. I don't know, might need to add the rest of it. I might, let's see. Might as well. With this stuff, you don't really need to keep it boiling. Just keep it on low or even turn it off, cover it, and it's gonna melt. And here in a bit, we'll check it and stir it again. We want to stir it soft. You don't want to break the potato and carrot up. You don't want mashed carrot and potato curry. All right, I want to cut this into manageable pieces. Louisiana fish fry. Tend into this a little bit more. The idea is to make a gravy here. May have too much water, but if there is, you can always simmer it down a little bit. It's looking okay though. Fish, egg, meal. Empty plate. Here we got some hot oil. It's peanut oil. This is not all the fish. We're not going to cook all of it at once, but I am going to cook it all tonight. I'm probably just not going to eat it all. Ooh, make a little room there. There we go. To cut these in smaller pieces. It's not going to take forever. It does take a bit longer if you try to cook a whole fillet at once. It takes forever if you can't get them flipped. Some of these smaller pieces are going to cook way before these thicker pieces do. And I need to be mindful of that so I don't end up overcooking. Smaller pieces are already done. Okay, that's the first round done. Now for the second round. All right, it's all done. Now to plate it up and drown it in curry. Oh, this rice smells so good. I could eat it by itself. It smells so good. Dare me? I'm just gonna grab one. No, I'm gonna grab two instead. All right. Put some curry right there. Get a little more curry right in there. I don't want to hide the fish totally, but it's kind of what's going to happen anyway as I eat it. I've been craving this fried fish with some curry. This is not a hot curry, by the way. This is a mild one. I usually make it hot by adding like jalapeno or cayenne. I just wasn't in the mood for that tonight. I thought you were expecting chopsticks, huh? It's not in the mood for that. We're going to do the fork tonight, but we are going to add some soy sauce. I just love to add a little soy sauce to this type of curry. All right, I am ready to get into this. First, I'm going to take a sip of this Sprite. I've actually had curry 3 times this week already, and it's only Tuesday night, Sunday night, last night, and tonight. And now I am out of curry. That means I gotta take a trip. Gotta take a trip to Hong Kong Market, because that's where I gotta go to get it. The fish is good. Get some of that rice. Oh wow, I'm gonna love this. Yeah. Woo. But I tell you what, excuse me, I'll tell you what, this is really heavy, and if I just kill it right now, it is gonna knock me flat. But I want to edit this video, so let me put that to the side, take that Sprite in there with that camera, and get this video edited, guys. Oh, that is good. Yeah, you're right. Thanks for watching, subscribing, and I'll see you next time.